The question is, how do I quiet my mind in a world that never stops? You are the world. The world happens inside of you. That's the first thing. Did you know that inside of you, you have the safest place that has ever existed? Inside of you, you have the safest fortress, the untouchable fortress that has ever existed, ever. That's the first thing. Did you know that you can stop at any moment and become untouchable? Did you know that that place, that secret place, that sacred place can also become home, can also become your best friend? Did you know that? Did you know that stillness is actually who you are? Because the essence of your life, the very essence, before you were in the womb and your heart started beating, very little, very small. Before that, you were already eternally silent. You were already untouchable. You were already living in the eternal quiet, in the eternal calm. That is why, my friend, stillness is liberation, because it's the source, it's home, it's the origin. That place that you can find inside of yourself where everything clicks. You understand? And when you find that place inside of you, hundreds of keys to reality come at your disposal. You are given keys to navigate the ocean of your life. How do you quiet your mind in a world that never stops? Understanding that the world doesn't have to stop. You should stop. You have to stop. Understand this. Your question is, how do I quiet my mind? Do you see that you are longing for quiet? You're the one saying it. I'm not saying anything. You're the one who's saying it. You long for quiet because you thrive in quiet, because your soul is quiet, because your essence is silence, because your essence is stillness. And from that silence and that stillness, you find bliss. You find something that surpasses understanding. And the noise becomes almost like the silence. It doesn't bother you anymore. When you're able to make the noise of the world become silence and not bother you anymore, that means that you have become more familiar with the silence than the noise. That means that you've become more friends with the silence now than the noise. And the difference between silence and noise is this. The noise, it's a lot of commentary. The noise is the surface. They speak a lot, but they don't say anything. They don't tell you anything. There's a lot of noise, but very little meaning. There's a lot of sound, but very little depth. The silence, on the other hand, can tell you everything. The silence is trying to bring you more to your origin. The silence can whisper the truth. Right here, right here. You want to quiet So do that. Next time when you're gonna sign the contract with the noise of the world, think about it if you want to renew that contract and renew that agreement, or if you want to try to establish a new partnership, somebody who's been trying to call you. The silence. Home. It's almost like, when a young guy reaches young adulthood and he decides to travel the world because he's an explorer, he's an adventurer, and he was born in a small town in the countryside, next to the woods, next to the animals, a quiet life, a silent life, a simple life, right? A life where you're connected to the sounds of nature, to the silence. You're connected to the stars. You're connected to the trees, to nature. You're connected to the animals. You're connected to a more natural movement of life, right? And then you reach 18 years old and you got that ambition, right? And then you start traveling the world. You move to the big city, the noisy city, the place where nobody cares about you. You don't care about them. Nobody cares about each other. People are just running after the treadmill, just running the race. And then that becomes your life. But your mom calls you or your dad calls you. Oh, my son, when are you going to come back? They're trying to call you back home to the silence, right? But you're living in the big city. Your heart is cold. Your heart is frozen. You don't care about none of that. You got to make things happen. And then you ask a question like that. So how do you quiet your mind? In a world that is noisy and that never stops. You go back home. In your heart, in your soul. The only home you'll ever have. The only home you have ever had. No noise can fulfill you. No noise, no things, no amount, no quantity can improve the quality. No quantity of content in your life. No quantity of anything. What's the difference between having one house or 100 houses? What is the difference in quality? What is the difference in fulfillment, in meaning, in richness of experience, in depth of experience, in joy of experience, in love, in connection to existence? What is it? It's not. Simple as that. You can live your life whatever way you want it. You can live in the world. You can make all the money that you can. These two things that I'm talking about, quantity and quality, they do not exclude each other. They don't exclude themselves. Right? So you can make the money. You can have the houses. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying quality always comes first. Quantity of resources will never come before quality of connection with life. And one of the ways to nurture and cultivate and realign with that quality that was always yours is to go back home. How do you go back home? You seek home. You give up on some of the agreements and you seek home, and you call back home, and you go home in your mind and in your heart, and physically you go to that place. You take space and time for yourself to be quiet, for yourself to open your awareness and remember who you are, to tap into your heart that's been beating and beating and beating and beating, but you forgot about that. That's what I'm saying. First you exist. First you exist. There's a natural order going on here. We need to be very aware of it. First you exist. Nothing will ever come before that. Then you do things. Then you do whatever you're going to do in your life. Then you have the things that you want to have in your life. Then you have desires. Then you have habits. Then you have resources. Then you have a family. Then you have, but before all of that, you exist. So that relationship has to be established. You need to reclaim that hierarchy. You need to build that relationship with your existence that you've been given. But the great thing is, whenever you call for the silence has been there waiting for you all this time and will pick up like that.